Hi, my name is Dr. Stuart Squires. I'm a professor of theology at St. John's Seminary, the seminary for the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. I'm thrilled to announce that Focolare Media and New City Press have published my new book, You Will Be Changed Into Me, The Fruits of the Eucharist. While many other Catholic books explore the question, what is the Eucharist? This book explores the question, what does the Eucharist do? Over the next 6 short videos, I'd like to share with you 6 of the most important fruits or effects of the Eucharist. Today, I'd like to share with you the Catholic understanding of Eucharistic memory. In his first letter to the Corinthians, Paul recounts the words of Jesus at the Last Supper. "This is my body that is for you. Do this in memory of me." In the same way, also the cup after supper, saying, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood. Do this as often as you drink it in memory of me." What does Jesus mean by "do this in memory of me"? Although Catholics understand that "do this" is Jesus' command to repeat the Last Supper in the Mass down through the centuries, the phrase "in memory of me" is not as immediately obvious. Most of the time, when we think about memory, we think of it as a mental repository. When needed, we can go to that repository and review our past experiences, just like going to a safety deposit box and retrieving our wills, our photographs, our past important documents. But the Christian view of memory is much thicker than this. According to theologian Alexander Schmemann, memory is humanity's capacity to resurrect the past. For example, when we listen to our favorite song from when we were in high school, all of the memories of that time come flooding back to us today. But it is liturgy, more than music, that has the power to collapse time for us today. In Models of the Eucharist, liturgist Monsignor Kevin Irwin shows the power of liturgy to make present not just the personal events of our own lives, but to make present the most important events of all, the saving events in history. In Making Memory, he says, what we proclaim and experience through liturgical actions reiterates and deepens among us what God did once for all in saving history. In the liturgy, it is not we who remember. That would be impossible, since in the case of the Last Supper, we were not at the table 2,000 years ago. Rather, by these liturgical actions, God does something. God acts on our behalf. Through liturgical memorial, we are drawn into God's eternal act of salvation, recreation, and redemption. By doing something on our behalf, God opens up the possibility for us to remember the past. But liturgy takes one step further than sensory experiences because it does more than simply make the past present to us. Through liturgy, we who were not present at the original event share in the saving events that occurred in history, but that cannot be confined to history. The liturgical notion of making memory is doing and participating in an act of memory in which the very same events of history that are called saving are actualized, that is, realized and experienced once again through the present liturgy. These saving events are so extraordinary that they transcend the time and place in which they originally took place. In other words, the liturgy now allows us to receive and participate in the past saving works of God. As St. John Paul II explained, in the Eucharist, Jesus brought about the mysterious oneness in time between the Easter Triduum and the passage of the centuries, so that each member of the faithful can thus take part in it and exhaustively gain its fruits. As we progress through this season of Lent, I invite you to commit yourself to receiving the Eucharist more often. In doing so, those graces that Christ won for us on the cross will be made available to you more frequently through Eucharistic memory.